One of the other projects that I've been doing during the COVID-19 lockdown is to restore this little apparatus, which I picked up at the beginning of the year in Daylesford at an antique place. It's a German device, and it dates back to probably around the 1930s. These devices became really popular during the period between World War I and World War II. And as I said, this one was manufactured in Germany. It's been probably sitting in someone's shed for many years, so when I got it, the case was really quite knocked around and scuffed. So I restored that up, cleaned that all up, given it a coating of lacquer. It's still a little bit knocked around, which is okay because it is an old machine after all, and I want it to continue to look a little bit antique. But I think at this stage it's looking good. So let's unveil what that actually is. So as I said, these were very popular between the wars. In fact, if you read the manual, this particular manufacturer, which is a Haider German manufacturer, Karl Haider from Munich. So it consists of a whole range of electrodes. There's a tray of more electrodes inside. There's even more electrodes inside. There's a attachment, a hand attachment or a handle, and it's connected into the device. I've replaced all of the cabling. This was originally rubber insulated cloth covered cabling. The rubber had all deteriorated, so this has all been replaced with new cloth covered cabling. Mains plug. Interestingly enough, it did actually come with a light fitting socket rather than a 3-pin mains socket. When these were sold, not everyone had sockets in the home, so they had a light fitting, and you could actually just take the light bulb out and put it in place of the light bulb. It generates a very high voltage in the handset. Inside there is a Tesla coil. So we're looking at probably 100 to 200,000 volts gets generated inside this handset. And then that discharges through the different electrodes. The electrodes themselves are all made of glass. There's different configurations. We'll have a look at some of those later. And they've had the oxygen or the air pumped out of them, usually they have a small amount of argon put back into them. So they're an argon tube. There is one neon tube here. The neon tube is this one here, and I'll explain a little bit about that later. So you have a control. You can control the voltage or the intensity, what it does is it creates a discharge through the electrodes. It was believed that they could cure all sorts of things, and so the different electrodes all have their own purposes, and that you in the home could cure all sorts of diseases and ailments using this kind of what was technology back then. They eventually got banned after World War II because clearly they were a quack device and didn't solve anything. In fact, if I go through the user manual here, which by the way is all written in German, the user manual talks about all the different things that it can cure, and it says which electrodes you need to use to cure what. So if I just read through some of the things that they claim that it can cure, everything starting from boils, angina, pimples, nervousness, anxiety, inflammation of the arteries, artery calcification, asthma, eye problems, rashes, cramps, blood rush to the head, anemia, congestion to the liver, bronchitis, intestinal inflammation, swelling of the glands, diarrhea, eczema, wrinkles on the face, obesity, foot cramps, frostbite, boils, gallstones, feeling dull, inflammation of the joints, joint pain, gout, flu, dandruff, itchy skin, hemorrhoids, heart disease, hay fever, hip pain, hysteria, influenza, maybe it's good for COVID-19, sciatica, cold feet, carbuncles, whooping cough, polio, scalp massage, headache, back pain, paralysis, lung infection, rectal fistulas, and I note there it said that you need to insert the electrode into the intestine, and it did actually advise that you grease the electrode first, which is very considerate. Blackheads, birthmarks, scars, nosebleeds, neuralgia, kidney disease, insomnia, sunstroke, sniffles, worms, again you insert the electrode into the anus to cure that problem, and toothache. So pretty much any ailment you can think of, this device is what you would use to cure it. So let's just fire it up now so you can get an idea of it in operation. So what we do is we insert an electrode into the device and turn it on. And you start to hear the buzzing noise of the contacts inside. And as you turn it up, you probably won't see here because of the light, and I'll turn the lights down in a moment, there's actually, you can see some discharge inside the tube, and if I put it near my skin, it'll arc across onto my skin. So we'll unplug the device now. Let's go in and have a look at what is actually inside. So it's beautifully made. Despite the fact these were mass produced, it's all still handmade. And it very much looks handmade. I mean, the manual actually says that they have made over 400,000 of these devices, and that's just this one German company alone. These machines were made in America and all over the place by different companies. And if we go on a little bit closer, we can have a look at what it actually consists of. So what happens is that when you switch it on, the mains power goes through the initial choke coils. It sets up a resonance circuit with this main electromagnetic coil, and that operates a set of points. So as it magnetizes, it pulls the points in, and that then breaks the circuit. So the capacitor, the main old capacitor in here, it will charge up and discharge with that oscillation that's set up with the points opening and closing. That then connects through to the handpiece, and in the handpiece there's effectively a Tesla coil. I've just put a bit of rubber around the base to stop the coil from vibrating inside it. So here is your primary coil, low number of windings, all again hand wound on a wax cardboard cylinder, and inside that cylinder will be the high voltage windings, of which there'll be a very large number of very fine wire, and that just connects to the end here where the electrode would make contact, and then you get the discharge out into the atmosphere. So a beautifully made piece of apparatus. So what I'll do is I'll just clip one side of the capacitor. So remove that wire there. We can just leave that in situ. Right, now I'll try firing it up again, and we'll go through some of the electrodes and have a look at those electrodes in operation. But first I might dim the lights down so that we get a better view of them. Okay, let's plug it in. If we turn it on with no electrode in it, we can see okay, it's buzzing away, so it's oscillating in there and generating the high voltage. We'll put just the regular flat one, which is for skin surface. It's sort of a general purpose one. And you can see it glowing nicely there. Wow, got quite a bite. Ooh. Quite a bite. It's generating a bit of ozone as well. I think the changing the capacitor over has really energized it probably too much. So this is another general purpose one. It has a metal rod running down through the middle. Wow. That one's really fierce. We'll try some of the more interesting ones. This is the comb, which they say can even cure dandruff. Wow. And this is the one that is for using on your neck, so it's curved just to fit the shape of your neck. See that one? What else have we got here? This one's the one that goes up your nose. Any volunteers? And the similar one, this is the eyelid one. Quite what it treats, I don't know. But it looks really nice. It's a white light. I don't think I'd like that on my eyelid. And this is the one that goes in your ear. So they're all working very well. And then the last one is the saturator, which is you're meant to hold on to it and then someone massages you, and so the radiation goes through your body and out through their fingers and takes the evil toxins with it. I suspect this one's a pretty mean one. Yeah, it is. In fact, we'll have a look if we bring the neon tube near it. Yeah, you can see it glowing. Yeah. So they're all working. They're all working very powerfully. I may even have to look at trying to attenuate some of the energy down, because it's obviously in the Tesla coil generating an incredibly high voltage in there. All right, that's good. So let's pack it all up now. Question is, can I get it all back in together again?